Well, welcome to the Awakening Potential Show, your gateway to the extraordinary. And today on the Awakening Potential Show, we have an incredible guest whose journey embodies resilience. Uh, Barbara Beckley is a renowned thought leader, best-selling author, TV host and producer, speaker, visibility strategist, and she's a powerhouse and the queen of her queendom as CEO of Diamond Factor Network. Barbara helps individuals and businesses boost their vitality and impact. She's also a coach and leads to enhance, excuse me, credibility, media success, and business growth, inspiring countless people to unlock their potential and achieve lasting success. So she's in the right place on Awakening Potential for sure. So welcome, Barbara Beckley. And I'm so thrilled to have you here. You know, you and I keep going back and forth with each other, and I just love your energy and the queen that you are. So welcome to the Awakening Potential Show.
Karen, you're like a sister to me. We've been knowing each other for a while. We've been, like you said, back and forth. It's mostly my fault. But I said, you know what? We're not giving up on each other. Because once, like we were saying earlier, once we find, like-minded people in our lives that, really believe in what we do and what we say and everything and have that gift, you want to be with those people. So no, I was like, I'm not giving up.
Uh,
I'm gonna get on your show.
I always believe like attracts like, and I love like-minded
Yes.
individuals because even when we're not on the show, we can talk about like-minded things and just never lose
Yeah.
track. Even when we're not together for long periods of time, we could pick up the phone and I know you and I would just like pick up like we've known each
We
other
just,
forever.
yeah.
I love that. I love that about you. I love that about people in general. So you're one of those people. So I'm so grateful.
Thank
Um,
you.
curious.
Yes.
What got you started? Like, it's been a journey. Life is always a journey. But, go back.
You said
Go
go
back.
back.
Go back. Like, where were you back when? And did you ever think you'd be here now? And like,
Uh, it's every time, I get this question, I just want to sometimes I get happy and then sometimes I want to cry at the same time, but for good tears. Because like you said, when you go back, and I never ever thought, Queen, that just to let people know I call the women queen, so she's a queen, Karen's a queen. And saying that, I didn't feel that way before. I didn't think I was worthy. I didn't think that I was smart enough. I didn't think I was pretty enough. And the list goes on because people were telling me that from the age of 7 and in my teenage years. So that's what we call, just new words for it, but basically it was bullying. I mean, basically they were bullying me. And it was the children. And a lot of people are like, oh, children are so mean. They shouldn't do that. And I get it, but then they get older and sometimes they still do it. And then when you get older as adults, and you haven't took care of those places that happened when you were younger, then when people start putting your ear, well, you don't know if you can do that business, or maybe you shouldn't speak on that stage, or you don't know how to present right. And I'm like, okay, now this is bringing me back to I'm 7 years old. What? So, you have to tackle that. And I'm so glad that I finally did that because I wouldn't even be on your podcast right now, Queen, if it wasn't me just saying, okay, having people in my life, the right people come in my life to say, Barbara, you do have a purpose. You are worthy. And two of the main, I call them angels in my life, was my teacher back in 7th grade and my dad. So those were the shining bright diamonds, as I call them, in my life that gave me a reason to have a purpose and understand that I had a gift in me. And that's why today I tell everybody, I don't care who you are, and this is, I'll be saying this until, like I said, I get my wings, that you are here for a reason on this earth. You just wasn't just popped in and say, okay, well, I'm just, I just go through the world. No, you have that gift. You got something in you. You wouldn't have been born if you were.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I can so relate to you because I grew up the same way. Always not enough and I'm a people pleaser and all of that goes with it. And literally it was only till for myself, It was 2007 I got my divorce, and before that, there was no way I'd be even looking you in the eye. I'd be looking down and, yes, ma'am, how high, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I believe, and I'm just going to put this in there, I believe that you and I both already have our wings here on earth. And that's why we're meant to, I always say, I'm here to lift people. I'm the wind beneath their wings. So I'm
Oh,
here to tell you I'm the wind beneath yours right here, right now.
I love that. I never, heard of it like that before, Queen. And if you don't mind, I'm gonna use that when I'm talking to people because that is so true. I mean, like
Yes.
you said, just going back to our conversation, and this is just a good example of when you meet people in your life that you really resonate with. Like I was telling the Queen earlier, keep them. One thing about Karen, and I know you're interviewing me, but I had to give you some love here because it goes back to what we're talking about lifting the wings, lifting you up.
Yeah.
There were days that you didn't even know, Karen, that you would text me just out of the blue sometimes in Messenger and just say, "Hey, how you doing, Queen Barbara? Remember me?" Which I'd be like, I don't know why she says that. Remember, I know you. You're my sister. I look at you as that. But just those little words that you say or little things you send me, just brightened up my day at that time when I was going through those storms, and we all go through those, right? That's why I always tell people never stop. If something's telling you inside or something's telling you inside of you saying, maybe I need to send a heart to that person or maybe a smile to that person, do it because you never know what day or what they're dealing with in their life. And every
Yeah.
time, I'm telling you, every time that you sent me a message or something, it would lift me up. So when you said, you're lifting people in their wings, you would lift me up all the time. So I just want to let you know that.
Thank you. I
Good.
appreciate you telling me that because I didn't do it for any kudos or I just, yeah, you were on my heart and I reach out and that's who I am. And that's what, for me, it's the more I do things like that, the more it comes back, and people are there for me when I'm, because I go through, I had a moment last week and oh my God, it was like, but then I remember who I am because people like yourself
Mm,
remind me who I am. And I'm like, it's a choice, right? We can choose to stay in it, or we can choose to look at what's possible. And I'd rather be in that positive energy moving forward than sitting in my pity party was way there too long in the past. I don't ever want to be there again, or at least for long periods of time.
no.
Like, okay, I had my fill. I'm over it.
And it's just funny when you say that because and I tell people, I say, you know what, we're always going to have that little, like you said, quote unquote pity party. It just depends on how long you stay in it. Some people stay in it for a long time, which I did before. I'm not before I
I
used to
did
go to
that.
that pity party and woe is me type of thing. Especially, like you said, getting those, people coming in your ear. Um, but then I was thinking to myself, one day I said, okay, Barbara, the more you do that, you're human. We got to let it out. Cry, yell, scream, whatever you have to do. But then you have to make a choice, like you said, Queen. And I tell people, I said, you're not just making a choice for you to get yourself back centered, because I always do the whoosha moment when I go through things. I always say whoosha,
Okay.
and it brings you back centered. But it helps you get centered, and then it brings you back to, okay, what's your mission? Like you said, we're here to help lift other people up. And if I stay in my thing for a long, long, long period of time, then to me, that's doing other people not their justice to say, okay, I'm stopping my gift. I'm stopping what I can give to somebody because now I'm in this, pit right now. And how am I helping others that way if I stay in it over and over and over again?
Yeah.
So that every time I think of it like that, it kind of just it sounds like a boost. It's like whatever I'm feeling at the time, if I'm feeling down or whatever, it's like when I think of that, I'm like, okay, let me boost myself up. Let me get back. Let me use the techniques that I tell people to use, right? If I'm gonna tell you to do something to get you to a certain
Exactly.
point, then I need to be doing the same thing. Yeah.
Amen, sister. I hear you because for me, it's my why. It's like, what was my why again? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, man. I'm not standing in that strongly, and how can I tell the same thing? How can I tell others
Yeah.
what to do if I'm not doing it myself? And not that
Yeah.
I'm telling other people, and I know you don't tell people what to do either. I mean, but when we're lifting people, we want to empower them to a point where they're lifting themselves. So it's the energy, keeping that energy up for both of us is, and I'll always be there for you. So when you get down or whatever, you reach out and I'll lift you, you lift me, and we'll keep it going because we're both queens of our queendoms. And I like
Queens of our queendom. I like that.
absolutely. So
Uh,
what was it? Like, what was the one thing that um awakened your potential within you?
ooh, um, there was two. Well, I got to start off with the main one when I was 17. So, like I said, I was getting bullied and everything like that, and it led up, in teenage years. I was to myself. I became shy. I started going into myself because really, when you hear it so many times, you
Yeah.
start thinking that that's what you are. That's who you are. Is this person that they're telling you. Um, and then you have some people telling you something different. Well, my dad, like I said, he was one of my diamonds. He used to always tell me every time I came from school when I was younger, and he would always say, Barbara, I just want to let you know that you are my princess. See, I was princess back then, now queen. And I don't care what anybody says. I want you to understand that you were made for a reason. And he gave me the diamond story, and he basically talked about how the diamond was molded and goes through a lot of different things, but it becomes this beautiful diamond. He said that what I love what he said that resonates around, how when a diamond it just shines around, like if you hold it up it just glitters around the whole room. He said that's what's going to happen to you because you're going to show other people how they can be their
Mm.
diamonds. And the only thing I knew, because I was younger then, Queen, the only thing I was thinking about is, oh yeah, diamonds are pretty. Didn't get the total, like the deep meaning of it just yet. But it really happened when I turned 17. Um, that same year that I turned 17, my dad passed away. And I always tell people when I tell this story, he didn't pass away from like a sickness or illness or an accident or anything, but he passed away because somebody decided to take his life. Unfortunately.
Mm.
And then I feel like they took my life. So it's like they took his life. I feel like they took my life because I was in my mind, Queen, who's going to remind me, how I'm going to be this diamond and keep encouraging me and doing that. So it went down a spiral at that time because to the point that I was thinking about taking my life.
Mm.
I was just like, you know what? I should end it because, I just got so tired of feeling the way I was feeling and hearing all those voices. And my dad wasn't here to remind me. My teacher, she used to remind me, but I wasn't in the class anymore. So it was like, what do I do? But when my father when I found he passed, and I was going through that spiral, they put me under what they call a 40-hour, 72-hour suicide watch. And they took me to the hospital because they knew that, there was something that was triggering and they wanted to make sure I was okay. Well, within that time when I was in the hospital, and another angel, I always say there's angels in your life, came into my room, took my vitals, and before she left out, she turned around, Queen, and she said, something is telling me that I need to tell you something. She said, I don't know you. All I know is that I know you're down, you lost a loved one. But something about you're a diamond in the rough, and whatever you're thinking about, don't do
Mm.
it. She said it just like that, Queen. She said, don't do it. And I really felt like my dad was speaking through her to me.
Yeah, how cool is that? I believe in that. I
And
really do.
yeah, I really believe that there was that connection.
Yeah,
And soon as
that's
that happened, Queen, first of all, I was still like shocked. Like, well, wait a minute. First, how do you even know about the diamond story? Everything. Because I've been getting this, most of my early life. And then now you come out of the blue. You don't even know who I am. You're talking about diamond in the rough. I'm like, so I literally stood up like in my bed. It was like, okay, this is not a coincidence here. This is
uh,
telling me that I need to do this. So at that point in time, Queen, I said to myself, I vowed and put a mission and a vision out there for me and said, I need to make sure that other people
mm.
know and understand how worthy they are. I didn't want anybody feeling the way that I felt. And if they felt that way, I said, I'm there to call you queen or anything else positive that you want me to say until we get you on track. And that's how I feel. Yeah.
That I love that. You know, the thing people come into our lives for a reason or season, right? So,
So true.
and thus, the Diamond Factor Network was born.
There we go. See?
You never
You
know, right? You
never
never
know.
know
You
how
hear?
things are going to impact your life or who's going to
Yeah.
show up when just when we need it. It just those angels, right? That's why I like to say we are the angels here and now, right?
Mm,
And we are here to lift others, like that nurse lifted you, or if it was nurse or whomever, you know, and
yes. Yeah. And you don't never know. And see, that's another thing that showed me too, is you never know who's going to come in your life and do that. So you always want to be aware and want to
exactly.
really be listening and paying attention. Because if I didn't pay attention to that, then I might not even be sitting here talking to you right now because I might have went through what I was thinking about doing. But really listening
Grateful
to
you
her,
did.
yeah, through that grief. I mean, and I was going through grief and stuff, and through all that, battle through all that, that voice from her came into my soul and said basically, no, don't do it. You are worthy. You are a diamond in the rough. You're just dealing with some things. They wouldn't want you to do that. And I was like, wow. So, I always tell people that's why I believe so heartedly, Queen, that we are just not here on purpose. I mean, we're not here on accident, what I want to say. Because some people say, oh, I feel like I've been here on an accident. People didn't want me, da 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 da. And I'm like, no, no. I'd be a hard no.
Exactly. And you're no longer a diamond in the rough. You are the diamond in bright, shiny, vibrant space. And that's just why I'm so honored to be with you in your
Well,
queendom.
depending on what day, no, I'm just kidding.
Hey,
Some
we all
days the
have our
diamond's there, but it's
qualities.
just a little dim. But then most of the time it flourishes up.
Right, exactly. But this is why I don't know about you, but I know for myself, I mean, this is why I love like-minded people because I've gotten to a point now when I find myself spiraling down. I immediately call somebody. I'll sit in it for, okay, I'm over it. I don't want to sit here anymore. And if I can't get myself out of it, I need support. And it's amazing, like I can shift out of it now. So I would love to be that for you if you ever get in a space again. So
Well, oh yeah, and like I said, Queen, you have been. Like I said, a few times that you sent me notes and messages and stuff, and just remind you, it's like yeah, you always like I said, you know who I am. Like yes I do. You're my sister, you're my queen, and just put a smile on my face and just get you out, like right. It's just like boom. I said okay, I was there, heard from a wonderful queen who's doing her thing. And then I look at what you're doing and how you're helping so many people. You're on stages, you're on press release, you have your own show, and it goes on and on and on. And I'm like, I said, even if I'm just here just to lift her up, that puts a smile on my face. So,
yeah,
we think of it like that
great.
because I tell people when you pay, like you said earlier, you like paying things forward. I tell people all the time when you do that, yours is coming twice
That's
around because you're helping so many people and you have the right motive. That's the one thing I want to say too, Queen. If you have the right motive behind what you do, you will be so blessed. And I tell people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. So, okay, so you're a busy person as well.
Yeah, we found
You've got a lot of
that
fun.
out, right?
What do you do for fun? What do you do for fun? Seriously.
What do I do for fun? I want to say this, and you're probably gonna be like, really? And the audience will be like, really, Barbara, you can't find anything else? What I love to do is I like to get in the car and just drive in the like the roadside because I live in Wisconsin, so there's a lot of country roadside, or even outside of Wisconsin, just drive and then
Right.
go to the lakefront
Mhm.
and sit there and just either be in my journal writing or just listen to some nice jazz or some nice soothing music and just lay back and have my favorite vanilla shake.
There you go. That's a queen drink for sure. I
And
love
I
it.
only do the shake once every 2 months because it's not pleasing to my my digestive system sometimes. So I have to be a little bit cautious about that.
Right.
But yeah, I like just going. I like doing the walking around there in the park. I like bowling. I'll do that once in a blue moon. So it's just really just getting out there. And every time I go, like either driving or just going to the park or just looking, I always just be so thankful of, you know, how some people like they go to art galleries and stuff and they look at artwork and stuff like that, you know, which is beautiful too. But I always tell people, look at the art around us outside every day. And I'm
Absolutely.
just not talking about like the trees and the birds and stuff, but I'm talking about people in general. So I just, you know, I'd be thanking God just for me to have that every day, to be around that and how I could
Yeah.
help others. So yeah, that's what I like
Well,
to do. I mean, that's fun time.
I love it.
That's
Yeah,
fun
it's
time.
it is fun time because for me, I'm a water person also, and I usually go to the water just to take that deep breath and sort of ground myself again. And I I like to kayak. I live in Florida here, so I'm around water all the time. And we had, since the hurricanes here, there's some flesh-eating bacteria in the water. So I haven't been able to go kayaking, which is my zen. And I also meditate out there on the water. And so I texted my girlfriend, I'm like, Thanksgiving is coming. I'm coming to Orlando and I want to go kayaking there because I'm a river rat. I'd be a river rat. So,
That's good. You have another place to go. That's good.
but that's it, right? And one of the things that, I found myself, and I'm curious to ask this of you. I found myself last week, as I said, I was spiraling down, and it was interesting because one of my teammates said to me, Karen, you haven't done X, Y, Z.
Mhm.
And I'm looking at all these things that I've done and I'm doing, but I focused on what I haven't done and it was spiraling fast, right? And
Mm.
one of the things I realized was I hadn't been celebrating myself. Like I'm so
Mm.
busy, like in the space of like da 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 da. Da. Hey, we're queens. We need to
Mhm.
celebrate, like put on our little, crown every now and then. How do you celebrate yourself?
Ooh, yeah, I've been see, I guess we're like-minded. I was there just last week. I'm like you because, like I said earlier, I was dealing with some health challenges for the last 4 months. And then I was just looking, the first thing I was looking, like you said, I was looking at, oh, you're a best time, author, and you've been on different stages, virtual and in person. And, I'm thinking about all this stuff, but I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about, I didn't get that done. I know that needs to get done. I need to get this commercial because I do commercial videos. I do all this other stuff. I had to help you. I was just on and on in my head. And something just said, stop it. I just heard in my mind, stop it.
Exactly.
You make it seem like, Barbara, this is Barbara talking to Barbara, yeah, that you haven't done nothing. And then I had to go back into reading my bio. I had to read the bio that you read out. I had to read that to myself 2 or 3 times. First of all, to believe the fact that, wow, I did all that, or I've been doing that, or I continue to do that. And not only continue to do things what I did for myself, but I have helped and coach other people get to certain levels in their life. So
Exactly.
then I said, yeah, it is a time I need to do something. So yeah, I do need to celebrate. So I took a break and I watched my favorite movies and I just went and just laid down and just really just did me. Just said, okay, this is about
Love it.
Barbara right now. Let's celebrate Barbara. Let's not think about what needs to be done. Let's not think about what needs to go over here. I even ordered food. I said, "Oh, you feel like cooking?" I said, "Oh, they're gonna deliver to me."
Exactly. But
In fact, I got a little cupcake and I put a little candle on it. It was my birthday or nothing. I just did that and said, you know what? Happy
yeah,
Barbara Day to Barbara Day. And I just blew out the candle. And that's how I celebrated myself. And I know, people do it all different kind of ways. But like you said, Queen, you have to do that. I mean, that's a must. It's a
rest
must.
and restoration, right? If we don't
Yes.
restore, we have no energy for anybody else. And I really learned that, I think, through my accident as well. My hips, right? It was like my hips taught me
Mhm.
to slow down. And that was 2 years ago, January now, that I've started taking Fridays off. And it's more of my admin day. So I'll do only whatever I need to do in the morning, and the afternoon is my rest and restoration period.
Whatever you want to do. Yeah. Go out to the movies or, that's
Whatever.
another thing I like to do too.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
grocery
yeah.
shop. fill it, you know. So whatever I need to do, that I do that. And I'm really getting away from working on the weekends because I could really, you
Mm,
know, I can find myself in front of the computer all day long if I let myself, because I love what I do, you know, and as a creative, I'm just like, oh, that's a great idea. Let me do, you know, and before I know it, it's like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like,
I know. It's crazy, isn't
stop
it?
it. So,
You
you
look
know,
up
I'm
and
a
you look up, you
relationship.
start at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, you look up again, it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You're like, what just happened? But
Yeah,
like you said, you like
yeah,
what you do, but then you still have to look and, do you and get away from
exactly.
that. Yeah. So I'm glad that you take the weekends to,
I
in
do.
fact, I need to take a page out of your book on that one. I really do.
Yeah.
I really do.
You know, because there's plenty of time for everything. If we, I really believe there's plenty of time for everything if we um create the harmony within the calendar as well as the life, right? And I can allow myself to get distracted, especially working from the house, you know, and then my little kitty, and it's like, oh, I gotta love on you for a minute. Oh, but wait a minute, I gotta, you know, no, no, no. So now it's like I'm really, my hips really slowed me down.
Um,
And I'm loving it because I'm still getting, I mean, well, you said yourself, look how much I've gotten accomplished within, you know, and I don't stop to acknowledge it.
yeah.
And all of a sudden it's like, wow, Karen, like chill out, time out, you know.
And I was just thinking about when you talked about your accident. And that's always amazes me too with you, Queen, how with through that you just so resilient that you just, still doing your thing and even doing even more. That's a motivation for people. But sometimes things happen in life to slow you down and kind of remind you on where you need to be
Exactly.
and where you need to go. I know that happened to me just last year, with my first health scare. And then this year, um, and when I was laying in the hospital this year, and I was telling you earlier, found I had those blood clots around my lungs, and I had to be in the hospital for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Those whole 2 weeks, that's crazy. For the first 2 days, I'm like on my, because I can see my emails and everything on my phone. I'm like, okay, what am I missing? I know I got to get to somebody. And I was like, in fact,
yes,
I told the nurse, I said, take this
proud of you. Proud of you.
and charge it and don't even give it back to me in 3 hours. She was like, okay. She took my, because I had to get rid of it. And I sat in that bed and I laid up
Yeah,
and I just started reminiscing and just thinking about, Barbara, what's more important right now? See
exactly.
where you are right now. I had to really reflect on that.
Yeah,
And now I take space and time, like you said, to do me, to celebrate me, to relax when I need to relax, to go to sleep when I need to go to bed. I was like, oh, I was a night. People used to always tell me, Barbara, do you ever go to sleep? I mean, every time I see you on Facebook all day, all night, saying hello to people, some about queens over here and all this stuff. And they said, do you get any sleep? And I said, yeah, I go, first I was like, first I thought it was cute. Then after a while, I'm like, Dad, they really think I don't get no sleep. Then I was thinking about it, I said, well, Barbara, you don't really get any sleep. So they're on something here. And now I stop and I say, nope, okay, whatever's not done is not done. Barbara needs to get her rest, even if it's just
exactly.
away from the computer and just relaxing. So yeah, important,
Yeah,
very important. I had to
it's very,
just relook at things. And I know for you, probably, like you said, when you had your accident, that's like your whole world is like, okay, now I got to figure out, okay, what's really going on here, what I need to do. Yeah.
exactly. And who am I going to listen to? That was a
Yeah.
big,
Ooh, that's a
yeah, right. Especially coming out of a hospital, it was like, you got to do this, and this. And I'm like, no, that doesn't work for me. You know, but thank you for sharing. Yeah. I walked into a store today because, you know, if you recall, and I don't want to make this about me, but it was just an interesting concept because in the space of not listening to other people, you know, the doctors had told me there's a chance, you know, there's a good chance that you might not be walking or you're going to walk with a limp and or, you know, I mean, I fractured my pelvis, dislocated my back. And I walked to the store today and I was looking at bathtubs and it was all I could do. I wanted to get in that bathtub so badly to test it out because I want a soaker tub. And I'm looking at it going, yeah, I think I could do it. So I figured I'm going to share with this woman, do you have something in case, you know? And she looked at me and she said, you don't even walk with a limp. It's like, yes, because what we focus on expands, and I refuse to focus on
Yeah,
the
write that
negative,
down.
right? What we focus on expands, exactly. So where you put your attention, where energy goes, attention flows, right? So the same context, everything is, the mind is such a powerful tool. Um, so
You
I'm,
dropping some good gems.
hey, I call them pearls, pearls of wisdom. I tell
Pearls
my,
of Wisdom by
I tell,
Karen,
I
by Queen
tell,
Karen.
yeah. I used to have,
Oh,
actually, I used to have a Facebook page called Pearls of Wisdom, and I don't know, I dropped it. I should pull it back now, up now.
oh yeah. After you drop those two things, yeah, we need to bring that back.
So I think so because I love dropping pearls because it makes for a really nice necklace and it's not that heavy. At any rate, at any rate, so for the listening audience, right,
Oh,
who is looking to awaken their potential, and they might be thinking they're not enough or they're whatever they're thinking, what would you tell them? Like, what's your pearl of wisdom, your takeaway that leaving that with them is going to make the biggest difference?
well, I tell people all the time when I'm talking to either clients or just friends or anybody, and they're talking about, well, I don't think this, Barbara, I don't think this way and everything about me. And I said, you know, we only have a certain time on this earth. You know, we're born, you know how they say we got the middle, and then we go. And I always say gain the wings. And like you said, we have wings here. So you have something that you're spending time on this earth to do. Now, either somebody we can talk about how we bring it out of you, or you already probably know it already, way back in your mind, but you have either your self talk or other people in your ear talking, or both. And I just want to tell people that I don't care what anybody says, you have that purpose. You just sometimes got to figure it out or change it up. I had to change mine. I went down a road for 20 some years, thinking I was supposed to be in this one field of industry and insurance. Still am, during the daytime sometime. But then I found a whole big horizon of making sure that I'm you telling people how they need to have purpose and how to get visibility out of it. Because once you found your purpose, I always say the next thing is be visible so people know who you are, so that you can help them figure out who they are. And I just want to just tell people because I get really sad when I see people feel like they're not worthy because it goes back to me when I was a little girl again and how
Yeah,
people were telling me that. I mean, they would call me an alien. I mean, they basically said, "ET, go home." That's what they were telling me. Now, in the 1985s, I know I'm aging myself, but that's what it was. So you can think of any alien now or whatever, and that's what I thought I was.
yeah,
So, like like you said, you have to put those words out there because you're not those words. Now, what you're saying to yourself, being if it's a negative or what they're saying to you, that's a negative. Because you have to remind people that you were put here for a reason. I don't care what you say. I know you're not probably bold maybe at the beginning, but you got to get in yourself first and remember that you were put here for a reason. Period. That's what I was telling
love it.
people.
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And I know you have a gift for everybody. What is your gift? And
I have a gift. Yes, I love gifts. So my gift, because I am and I help people, like I said, bring out their purpose and then bring out the visibility. And I do it by video for people and I help people get on, like podcasts like this and make sure that they're showing up or having their own TV streaming show. So I have a network. And with that, I do a lot of workshops and webinars. But besides that, the gift I have is a roadmap to understanding your visibility by video. It's a PDF, and basically it's a 6 sheet PDF where basically it just takes you and gives you tips. It gives you action items. I always believe in action items. It's one thing to just put something on there and say you need to do this, but then I'm going to say now take some action, right? You don't want to do half. You want to do everything. So do this. Say okay, it's good to do this, this, and this, and why? This, today do this, this, and this. And that's what I have in that worksheet. So I have that. It's free. It's a gift, and I want to just give it to your wonderful audience, whoever else sees it on the link. And the biggest thing is to know that you are worthy to be out there being shown, because somebody's waiting for your story. Somebody's waiting for what you do, your product, your service, whatever it is. Somebody's just waiting for you, period. Maybe just your kind of who you are, but somebody's out there needing that. And I always say that I feel kind of, accountable when I don't do it, when I don't put myself out there, because I'm like, who can you be saving or helping or giving people if you don't put
Exactly.
yourself out there? Yeah.
Exactly. I love
That's why I
that.
like Queen Karen, because she puts herself out there all the time. She gives me hope all the time.
I remember somebody telling me, if it was Reverend Alma I studied under, or Myron Golden, I can't remember, but it was like you're being very selfish
Mm,
by holding it in and not sharing it with the world, because there's somebody out there that can benefit from your story. And that was part of my inspiration, and I'm sure part of yours, right? If I can make it easier for, and less time frame for somebody else, I'm all over that. I wish somebody would have been there for me, but I also wish I would have asked for it, because I didn't know how to ask back then. I was
me
so
either. Mhm, yeah. And like I said, sometimes either you find out yourself your purpose, or somebody, just to add this real quick, Queen, somebody
okay.
might see it before you. And that's what happened to me too when I got older and I got into the position in the insurance world, is a manager seeing the gifts in me, but I was still that shy girl, that shy young lady at the
Yeah.
time, still wasn't opening up. Now, me going to school, getting degrees, all that, no problem. I would do that day and night because I didn't have to really worry about talking to nobody. It was like I was just in my books, in the studies. Sometimes we had to share, like, get with a partner, but besides that, it wasn't like I had to be out there. So it was okay. That was like my comfort zone, was education. But the
Nice.
other thing was, and they said, as Barbara, when I was at my job, people don't know you need to network. You need to open up. We need to know who you are. They don't even know who you are. You've been here for how many years?
Right.
So they seen that, and they dug and they dug and they dug and they dug until I was like, okay, either I'm tired of you digging, or I'm like, okay, there must be something about this. I need to do something. And I did. So that's what started me on that road. So I'm saying all that because sometimes deep inside of your gift who you are, and sometimes other people might see it and really listen to the right people, like Queen Queen said, the right people, and they're telling you certain things to get you out of your comfort zone, so you can be the person that you are and that you're worthy.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. I
yeah.
still listen to people. I'm also always so open about that. Yeah, tell me. I'm not going to I've learned to let the judgment, there are times it might have an edge, depending how it's communicated, right? I mean, even today, it was like somebody said, Karen, you got to let your light shine and get out of your head. And I was like, okay. I'm still human, we're still human. And
It's gonna your sting. It's gonna,
and
yeah. But
some,
like you said, you need to know what stuff to let go, what stuff to keep on the shelf, and other stuff just to be like, okay, they're right. Sometimes, but like you said, they come the right way. So that's important. Presented the
absolutely.
right way. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
this has been absolutely amazing, and we're going to have all of your contact information in the show notes. Your gift link is going to be in the show notes. And all right, I just so love you, and I'm just so
You
grateful
too.
for you being in my world and being in my life and us connecting. However, I don't even remember how we connected years ago, but I'm just so grateful. How was it?
Forbes. Yeah, we were in Forbes together.
Oh,
Uh, one of her, I forgot
the
one of her.
pitch.
Yeah, yes,
I didn't realize
it's been a while. I know,
that's been a while, right?
I know, and you've been climbing up the ladder with her, so that's why I've been so happy for you too. I've been like, go, 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 Queen, go, go, go.
Thank you.
That was another thing. See, you never know who you're gonna meet just by going in a
And do it right, exactly.
it's a workshop. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the way that works. Life works, right?
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
it's been such a pleasure. Such a
Thank
pleasure.
you. You
Yeah,
too.
thank you. We'll have to do it again soon. But till then, for our listening audience, thank you for joining us on the Awakening Potential Show. And as you step back into your world, remember, a bridge from ordinary to extraordinary is built with small steps of change and courage and big leaps of faith. So let today's insights from Barbara be a guiding light as you navigate back into your journey. And remember, you were born to be different. So make a difference and let your light shine. Until next time, continue to awaken your potential and illuminate the extraordinary within. And stay inspired. Bye for now.